So, Jason, you said, right?
It is. Jason Wingard, my name. I'm an independent filmmaker.
Okay, and what? Can you just tell me what films you made before, very quickly?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I suppose I'm known for a lot of short films. I won Virgin Media Shorts in 2011 and 2010 as well.
Okay.
On the People's Choice.
And how have you how have you found out about what's going on specifically at Barton Moss? Are you involved in fracking? Are you anti-fracking? Are you pro-fracking? What is your film about? What
I wanted to do, I wanted to make something, because you see a lot of the stuff that's online, and you see obviously a lot of the anger that the protesters have, and also the police have got as well. So
yeah.
I wanted to frame something in a slightly different way, where people can make their own minds up once they're hearing in a calm way what people are protesting about.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make something that even my parents could watch and understand.
Yeah.
And get it, and not see it from any kind of extreme side.
Okay.
So, because I think that once people are presented with the facts, that they will come to a logical conclusion, and I think that's important, and it's something that I think that the mainstream media should be doing and are not doing.
There's a bit of a blackout on it, really, to be honest.
There is, yeah. And so it's important, I think, that artists and filmmakers and people who have some kind of political conscience contribute, and I think that's the small thing that we can do.
Okay, and sorry, one of my viewers has actually reminded me to make you aware that today was not a normal day.
No, of course.
You know that, don't you?
We do know that, and the thing is that I don't think that they were aware that we were down as much as anything else, and so they were on their best behaviour, I'm sure. But the thing is that it's all online anyway. And I've just been speaking to the lawyer there, and I've been speaking to the people who've been filming every day.
Was it?
Yeah. And we've got access to that footage. So we will include some of the more brutal footage and the more extreme footage in there.
Okay.
Because I think that's part of the story.
Yeah.
But I wanted to hear from the people, really. I wanted to speak to the police. I wanted to speak to the police as people as well.
Yeah, I've just managed to get one interview with one of the PLOs just now, so I just spoke to him. Because at the end of the day, they are human beings. They're doing a job, but it's a bit of a hard one to call, because the police, are friendly to your face, but they're a bit two-faced.
Yeah,
and that's, I think, what pisses a lot of people off. And what's been happening down here is the reason I got involved and came down and started streaming was because actually initially it was more to do about capturing the policing of what was going on here.
Well, it was the central question for me on whenever if you're making a drama or a narrative, you've got a central theme.
Yeah.
With a documentary, you've got a central question, and the central question really is, who do they represent? Do they represent the people, or do they represent big business? And I think that it's clear that they represent big business, and also it's a manifestation, I think, of things that are going on in a wide, throughout the world, really. Oh
yeah, absolutely, and we can reference the news that's been yesterday and today with regards to one of the MPs sort of saying there is, was it one of the MPs or one of the judges saying there's still too much corruption within the police force.
Yeah.
And actually, this has become an exponential thing, because every other week now, and I use that term loosely, to mean regularly, we hear that there is criminality going on with the police, and the police using the law to their advantage and not giving the regular people a chance. Now, there is a big difference between here and a peaceful protest and a riot.
Yeah.
And actually, the police have struggled to deal with this here, because it's not a riot, it's a peaceful protest. But they bring in TAU, who are tactical aid units trained with dealing with aggressive, riotous people.
Yeah.
And I've not seen one person that's been arrested here lash out at the TAU or at the police. That's a really key thing.
I think it is. I think that the consistency of actually, and I think that's why you continually getting support and gaining support. Is because it's maintaining that peaceful protest. It can't be framed in any other way.
Yeah.
Although they're trying, they desperately want to take this down. But I think it's important, and I think that I hope that I can help contribute to that.
Okay, and so what I'm being asked for here is, are you going to be keeping in touch with one of the Barton Moss groups so that we can see the completed film?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm already in touch with lots of people who are actively campaigning.
Yeah.
Lots of people who have been and gone, and I've been gradually becoming more and more aware of what's been going on here.
Yeah.
I'm going to come out again. I must say I've really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed meeting everybody here down here.
Yeah.
And I think that the important thing is, what I've been asking, what can people do? And I think that people sharing information is one of the most important things that people can do.
Yeah.
So speak to people, figure out and find out for themselves, what's going on and why people are upset about it.
About the fracking.
About the fracking, yeah.
The way I've been saying it to the viewers, because the reason I do it live is because it's more engaging.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'm capturing some people that are sitting on the fence and don't know whether they're for or against fracking. Now, the only thing I would say that I've been saying to people for the last couple of days is, if you're sitting on the fence and aren't sure about the techniques or what it's doing underground, because nobody really knows, all you have to do is look at the way the land looks when a fracking situation goes on, and we're talking like over 3,000 sites just in the northwest, and it's like almost like a checkerboard of like sites, and if that isn't enough to get you off the fence to say, well, because we're a small island nation, we don't have the land mass of Australia, we don't have the land mass of the States, so these checkered things are going to be right on our doorstep, they're going to be right in our countryside, you're going to see them wherever you go, regardless of whether they cause earthquakes, regardless of whether they pollute our water, and whether you're sitting on the fence about those. Just from a visual point of view, you have to see that's the way it's going to be.
It's clear to me that it's financially driven, and there is no concern for the ecological issues that it would raise. I mean, the way that somebody explained it to me, which I thought was a great analogy, was that if you have a plane of glass and you hit it with a hammer, you don't know where that fracturing is going to stop and start, and how can you claim to control something like that?
Yeah.
It's uncontrollable.
Yeah.
And so that in itself just kind of made me think about things and frame it in a slightly different way.
Okay.
And I think it's I'm anti-fracking, but I want to present it to people in a way that they can make their own mind.
Yeah, it's very important that you don't make a biased independent movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody got any other questions for Jason here?
Yeah.
I'll just give him a second. When we're finished, I'll give you my details. I'll give you my Bambuza channel, and you can, do if you can download stuff or want to use stuff on there.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Because what I've done is actually, instead of just capturing police, a bit like yourself, I've gone around and interviewed people about the topics of people being labelled as anti-establishmentarian, but happy to claim off the state and all that kind of thing. And I think from today you've seen down here, there may be some people claiming their benefits, but it's the minority. It's not the majority as people think, and I think it's just a label that people are happy to put on people because they don't understand it.
Yeah, of course, and I think it's quite. I think that happens quite a lot, doesn't it? But I think that it's starting to go beyond that. I think that people are the message is starting to get heard. You've got Dave Haslam was down, wasn't he, the other week?
Right.
Was DJing.
Yeah.
There's people that are starting to just jump on board and go beyond the way that the media normally portray people who are protesting. If there's some kind of public nuisance or kind of like ecological terrorists. I thought.
Well, they're going to try and pull that one out soon, man.
Well, or whatever creative way that they kind of try to frame it. The thing is that there's people here who've never protested before in their lives, and they're upset, and they've got reason to be upset because this is something that nobody's been asked the question. Do you want this? And I think it's just landing here. They're not going to be having fracking sites outside of Eton. They're going to pick and choose where they go, and they're going to be clever with it as well. It'll all be, I'm not surprised that there'll be lots of, someone told me some stats about how many fracking sites between here and Liverpool.
Well, it's just all in the country they're talking of tens and tens and tens of thousands, which would ruin the landscape. Let alone the chemicals that are being used and the technique that's being used, just from a visual point of view, it would ruin the landscape. So nobody had any more questions.
Yeah, fine.
They just said thank you very much.
Yeah, look out for the film. It should be done.
So let me read some of these for you. Thank you. Yes, just thank him, please. Thanks, Jason. Sound guy. Cheers, Jason. Just tell him thank you very much.
Yeah.
And someone else wrote, these would be the same scroungers they said were sitting indoors playing computer games and getting drunk. Can we get his full name, please?
Yes, Jason Wingard. If you Google me, you'll be able to find me online.
So Wingard.
Yeah, Wingard. I'm sure the police did that this morning, and that's why they were so well behaved.
Oh, right, okay. So, do you just want to spell your surname for them?
Yeah, it's Wingard.
Jason Wingard.
Yeah.
Get his full name, please. Why would they sit out in storms if they had that easy life? All right, Jason, thanks very much for your time, man.
Thanks very much.
No worries. Take care.